Right. Good evening, everybody. We will call the Belvedere City Council regular meeting of March 6, 2023 to order. If the clerk will call the roll, please.
Brereton. Brereton is absent. Fleury.
Here.
Frank. Frank is absent. Freeman. Here. McGee.
Here.
Mulhall.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Prather.
Here.
Snow.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
8 present.
Okay, if you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, we pray to thank you for our many blessings that we have, our country, our community, and our freedom. We pray to thank you for all of our current military service members and for the countless men and women veterans who have served throughout our country's history, and we thank you for that service and sacrifice. We thank you for our police and fire first responders in our community and throughout our country, heroes who answer each call to help citizens in need no matter what, and we pray for their safety and well-being. We ask, Lord, that you comfort the family, friends, and fellow police officers of 32-year-old Chicago police officer Andres Vasquez Lasso, who was murdered Friday, March 3rd in the line of duty by a repeat offender in front of an elementary school, keeping his community safe. Please be with his loved ones at this time. We ask tonight that you give each of us compassion, courage, patience, and wisdom as we conduct our city's business here this evening. We ask for these things in Christ's name. Amen. All right, do we have anybody registered for public? No. We have nobody registered for public comment this evening. Item 4, approval of minutes. A, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of Belvedere City Council of February 20th, 2023 as presented. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderwoman Prather, second by Alderman McGee. Any questions? Any errors? Anybody sees? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's any opposed, motion passed. Thank you. We have no public hearing this evening. Under special messages and proclamations, item 6A, we have a proclamation this evening recognizing the Ida Public Library's 140th anniversary celebration. Tonight we have Library President Dawn Brooks with us. If she would join me up front, please. Whereas, a proclamation for the Ida Public Library. Whereas Ida Public Library is commemorating its 140th anniversary celebration on March 9th, 2023, where members of the community are all coming together to help celebrate this marvelous event. And whereas in 1883, General Allen C. Fuller donated funds to the city to form a public library. And whereas the library was named in honor of General Fuller's daughter, Ida Fuller Hovey, who was an avid reader and was dedicated to the Ladies Library Club. Ida passed at just the age of 24 due to consumption. And whereas the library became very popular, and by 1910, it had outgrown its capacity at City Hall, and a new library was needed. And whereas a new library was planned and funded by the Andrew Carnegie Foundation, and construction began in 1912. The front of the library is the 1912 construction that is wonderfully preserved. And whereas during 1986 and 1987, a 10,000 square foot addition was built on the west end of the library, tripling the size of the library. And whereas with the addition of the bookmobile in 2021, the library continues to explore new ways to serve the residents of the city of Belvedere as the population grows. And whereas the Ida Public Library's tradition of promoting education, literacy, and community involvement has enriched the city of Belvedere for some 140 years. And now therefore I, Clinton Morris, as mayor of the city of Belvedere, do hereby honor the 140th anniversary of the Ida Public Library and proclaim Thursday, March 9th, 2023 to be Ida Public Library Day in Belvedere, Illinois, and encourage all citizens of Belvedere to pay special tribute to the library on occasion of their 140th anniversary celebration. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and affix a seal of the city of Belvedere this 6th day of March 2023. So Dawn, I will give you this on behalf of the city of Belvedere. And thank you very much. And I would certainly turn the mic over to you to say a few words if you would like.
Sure.
Sure.
We just want to say thank you on behalf of the library and the Board of Trustees. We're very honored and we're blessed that we've been here for as long as we have, and we hope to continue to serve the community for as long as we possibly can. And we remind you that the party and celebration is Thursday, March 9th from 5 to 7, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And next, item B, is a recognition of Fire and Police Commissioner Ed Gonzalez. Ed has been with the city of Belvedere on the Police and Fire Commission for over 22 years of dedicated service. And I know Ed has been involved with certainly Chief Noble and Chief Woody, Chief Heiser, probably Chief Worrell, and of course Chief Shadle. And it's rare that you have an individual like Ed that dedicates his time, and believe me, it takes time, and his efforts on behalf of the city. Ed should be very proud, and I know his wife Lydia and daughter Leandra are very proud of Ed, as I am. And Ed, thank you very much for serving the city of Belvedere, and as a police and fire commissioner. I'm very grateful. Hate to lose you, I'll tell you that. You got any clones? And I know Chief Woody and Chief Shadle both, work closely with the Police and Fire Commission members. And I would ask if they want to say a few words, they certainly more than welcome. Chief Woody?
Thank you, Mayor. So you actually came on to the Fire and Police Commission not long after I started with the department. And from that point forward, you and I knew each other informally, would cross paths from time to time. But over the last 5-6 years, we began working together more formally. As I was appointed chief, you were a fire and police commissioner. And over that time, I can tell you that I appreciated your guidance, your wisdom, and obviously your experience with the Fire and Police Commission. Over that time, you helped me kind of navigate the fairly unfamiliar territory, and for that I thank you. It was quite obvious very quickly for me that you cared about not only the police department and the fire department, but our city as well. And I want to say on behalf of the Belvedere Police Department, thank you for your service, sir.
Chief Shadle?
Commissioner Gonzalez, for all that don't know or the community, a police and fire commissioner is an extremely important job. They actually make all hiring, firing, and discipline decisions, promotional decisions. Everything runs through the Police and Fire Commission. So you were the commissioner when I was hired, so personally I'd like to thank you for hiring me. I appreciate that. And promoted twice, and that was while you were on the commission. But you've served the community for a long, long time, 22 years, and you brought that experience to the meetings, and as a new chief also helped me learn what I needed to do and not do and helped guide those decisions and everything like that. So thank you for your service. It's an extremely important job. It's oftentimes when we're hiring or going through lists like we are now, we were having meetings almost every week, mostly because of the Chief Woody. But you were there, and you know, 6 o'clock, you spent a lot of weekday nights coming to council chambers and handling the business of the police and fire department. You always did it fairly and with good judgment, and you had a great, wonderful service to the community for a long, long time. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chief Woody and Chief Shadle. Ed, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you come up here, or can you meander up here? Okay. All right, Ed. Well, thank you, Ed, so much for your dedication to the city on behalf of the residents, also on behalf of our public safety services, our police and fire, and for all of your dedication. This plaque, Ed, is for you, and it proudly states an appreciation for 22 years of dedicated service to the Belvedere Fire and Police Commission. And I think Chief Shadle touched on it. You know, I'm sure you had a lot of evenings that you had better things, or you had other things that were important that you probably would have liked to do or should have done. And 22 years is a long, long time for that type of commitment. And on my behalf and on behalf of the City of Belvedere, on behalf of the City Council, I want to express my gratitude to you, and I want to present this to you. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I just want to say a quick, hopefully a quick, if I remember what I want to say. But anyway, it's been an honor serving. Back 22 years ago when at the time Mayor Barrington approached me and talked to me about becoming, I wasn't really familiar, but the Hispanic community was starting to grow here in Belvedere. You know, it still, you know, was not as friendly, not as nice. We've moved forward, and I hope that our path that continued to go forward. So not only, you know, for the Hispanics, but for Polish people, for Italians, for everyone. I mean, it's so wonderful. One thing I tell others: don't forget where you come from. I mean, because your roots, where you're from, your culture, all that's your foundation, and that's what you build on. And if you build on that right, you're going to achieve a lot. You're going to achieve everything you can, and you're going to raise up kids that are going to continue that, hopefully that path. Other than that, it's been an honor. It was an honor for doing it for 20 years, 22 years, and I hope that the commission board continues to keep the same path, keep the same pace, that it doesn't matter if you're black, white, purple, green, and if you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter. If you're qualified to do the job, that's what I try to do for 20 years. If you're qualified to do the job, you should have a chance to do that job. And hopefully it will continue in that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I will say, Ed, I probably won't be as fortunate as Mayor Brereton was to be able to find somebody of your caliber that had the fortitude to stay on for 22 years, but then again, I probably won't need them, but I certainly appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we also have item C, the reappointment of Matthew Branham to the Police Pension Board. And you have in front of you a memo in your packet. And please be advised, I have reappointed Matthew Branham to the Police Pension Board pursuant to Section 3-128 of the Illinois Pension Code, 40 ILCS 53-128. This appointment is for a full 3-year term commencing May 1st, 2023, upon expiration of the partial term appointment. So you have met Matt, I think Matt was here in front of City Council, but he had a short appointment.
Correct. He was appointed to fill a vacancy in the office. So that appointment was made, I believe, last fall. It expires this April, so we have to reappoint somebody to that position.
Okay. And anyhow, I guess that is that, and I want to thank Matt Branham. Certainly, again, somebody who dedicates a lot with the community, cares about the city of Belvedere, and he has decided to serve a 3-year sentence, so. All right. Item 7, approval of expenditures, we have none. Item 8, committee reports and minutes of city officers. Item A, could I get a motion to approve the minutes of the Committee of the Whole Public Safety and Finance and Personnel of February 27th, 2023 as presented? Could I have a motion? Motion by Alderman Fleury, second by Alderwoman Mulhall. Any questions, concerns, any corrections? Right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's any opposed? Okay, motion passed. And then under unfinished business, we have A, ordinance number 614H is a second reading this evening. An ordinance amending section 82-1 of the Belvedere Municipal Code relating to planning fees. So could I have a motion? Motion by Alderman Snow. Could I get a second, please? Anybody? Second by Alderman Porter. And so this actually corrects some errors and is a little bit of housekeeping. I know we've been over that at the committee level. If there are any other questions, we can address them. Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor to for ordinance 614H as an ordinance amending section 82-1 of the Belvedere Municipal Code relating to planning fees will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Fleury.
Aye.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And then under B, 9B, we have ordinance 615H before you tonight for second reading. That ordinance repealing and reserving section 98-21 of the Belvedere Municipal Code relating to barbed wire fences. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion, thank you. Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall, second by Alderman Porter. And we have had this at committee level as well. If there are any questions, I know Gina would be more than happy to answer them, so. Any questions? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor, will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed? Will, same sign. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Freeman.
Aye.
McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Fleury.
Aye.
8 in favor.
Okay, item C, ordinance number 616H is a second reading. An ordinance amending section 114-354B2 and Appendix A of the Belvedere Municipal Code to modify sewer rates. That ordinance has been discussed at committee level. Could I get a motion here this evening to that effect, please? Thank you. Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderwoman Prather. Is there any discussion? Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you, Mayor. So Brent, can you just, a little bit for the people at home, talk about how this is gonna affect their, the average water sewer user here in Belvedere?
Sure. It is, it's a 30 cents per 100 cubic foot rate. The where's my notes here for that? It'll be an increase of about 8 cents a day. Monthly bill average would be $2.41 per month. Like I said, it's about equals about an 8 cents per day increase. As you know, we are projecting a deficit so far in the sewer, which has brought this rate increase to us, and we're going to do further review based on actuals, midterm, if you will, of the upcoming budget, and we'll have further recommendations based on how we're doing at that point in time.
Alderman Snow?
Brent, sewer rate, or sewer bill is based on water usage in that. But is there a difference between residential and commercial as far as the water rate? But on sewer end, there's not a difference other than the quantity of water that a commercial business might use over and above a residence?
That's correct. We have single rates for all water usage, water and sewer usage. Sewer usage is based on water consumption, except for those industries that have sewer-specific uses, and then we apply it. But the rates that they are charged are the same, no matter if you're residential or commercial or industrial.
And anybody else? Alderman Stevens, yes.
Only question I have is, people within the city limits of Belvedere are gonna pay this rate. Now, out on Olson Road, we have a couple subdivisions, they don't pay city taxes, but they get all of our city benefits. It's out there behind the smoking coop and all that. My suggestion is since they don't pay city taxes and get all the services, they should pay a much higher rate than us who actually fund the whole thing. And I'd make a motion to double it for anyone not in the city limits who uses our services.
Okay. I know that that territory, that area out there was not annexed into the city of Belvedere. I was not, I don't believe I was here at the time. But I know somebody who was, and Alderman,
You're promoting me again.
yes, Alderman Drella.
Couple comments on that one. I guess there was a motion made, although I'd suggest you make that one a committee if you could, and that way we can process through committee's process. Number one, in general, I'm speaking generally now, not specifically of the Beaver Valley Road properties you're speaking of. In general, users that are not within the city of Belvedere do pay a surcharge. They do pay more than regular city users. I think it's currently 10% higher. That number is chosen because there's actually some case law on it that you cannot, I hate using the word gouge, but gouge non-residents for water usage. If you allow them to use your water, you can charge more, but it has to somehow be sustainable or rationale for it. The property that you're speaking of is subject to a pre-annexation agreement. I can't recall if we're charging 10% higher on them or not. We're not. And that was part of the annexation agreement that was entered into in 2000, I believe it was 5, between the city of Belvedere and the developer. So we cannot raise the rates during the time of that annexation agreement. Once that agreement expires, which it should be expiring in a couple of years, at that point, if those properties are not yet next to the city, they'd be paying the outside city user rates, which would be, again, currently 10% higher. We could certainly come back and look at increasing that percentage. Doubling would not pass muster in court, but certainly an increase may be possible.
Okay, they enjoy fire, police, public works, and they don't pay the property taxes I do. They pay only to the county.
So right now they're paying District 2 taxes, but we're providing fire. That annexation agreement actually had District 2 providing fire services out there even now. But at some point that got switched, and I don't know when or why. We entered into an agreement with the Sheriff's Department, an intergovernmental agreement at the time that annexation was done, to provide police services in that area because, and this is a bizarre creature of statute, when you have an annexation agreement with property that's not within the city, in other words, it's not next to the city at the time, a lot of people call pre-annexation agreements, they are actually treated as being within the city for all purposes with the exception of property taxes. For example, if they were to have commercial property out there and they started selling widgets, we'd get the sales tax dollars on it. And actually, that was what was intended on that property facing US 20, I'm sorry, State Street, Business 20, just west of Beaver Valley Road, was that was supposed to be commercial, and I thought was that would have developed now, we would have gotten the sales tax dollars there. Never did, recession hit. But they are subject to all of our ordinances. Therefore, because the sheriffs can't enforce our ordinances, the police department undertook that agreement pursuant to the intergovernmental agreement. And again, when that annexation agreement expires, so does our requirement to provide police services out there. We'd simply terminate that agreement with the sheriff's office, and they'd pick up the police services. The bigger issue should be the roads, and we can cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, if you want to look at increasing water rates, you certainly can do that. For that subdivision, it'd be after 2025. But we certainly, I don't think it'd double them. It'd be an increase of 5 or 10% maybe.
And
Thank you, Attorney Drella. And Mr. Anderson, you had a comment?
yeah, just to add in on that a little bit, for water and sewer, the water and sewer, the rates, the all user system pay those rates. The residents out there pay those rates like everybody else does that uses the system. And remember, water and sewer expenses are paid for by the rates and the rates only. No property taxes, no other income derived other than through some grants. Goes to the water and sewer department. It's dependent on those rates that all the users pay to keep that system. And we cannot, as the city attorney pointed out, we cannot surcharge in abundance to stockpile funds in the water and sewer department. We basically got to run it to break even, although we are allowed to obtain revenues to pay for capital improvements, which that's one of the reasons why we are increasing the rate now, is to be able to get our balance in our capital funds for water and sewer back up to where they need to be to sustain our system. But again, all of that revenue for water and sewer stays with water and sewer.
And actually, that makes me think, I didn't even think that Alderman Stevens might have been going there, but you could not raise the water rates to fund police and fire, because all that money has to stay in water and sewer. It can't be transferred, so.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is they don't pay taxes like we do.
Nope.
And as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't enjoy the rates of water and sewer that we do as taxpayers.
And they won't be in about 2 years.
And also, Brent, just for clarification, was the last rate increase, was that 2011, 2012?
No, last rate increase that the city had was in 2011. And just
2011.
for everybody's recognition, our average bill is $38.72. And when you compare it to all of our neighboring communities in the surrounding area, that average in the region, the water and sewer bill is $70.08. So we're almost less than half of what the average bill is for our region. So we are very, very fortunate where we're at regarding our rate structure.
Thank you. And then, as Alderman Stephen had mentioned, I think what had happened, I think in '05, there was hope that that pre-annexation agreement would thwart some of the development from the west, and that was signed, and it has not become, the property has not been contiguous to be able to bring them in. I think the hope was, and I don't want to speak for any previous administration, but under Mayor Burton's administration, I think that was the hope, that they would be able to stop the growth from the west, and also it would be a short time before that property would be contiguous and it would be annexed, all of it annexed to the city. As we all know, 2008, the bottom dropped out, and here we are today. a little historical on it. But I definitely agree. They're not paying property taxes to the city of Belvedere. They are paying water rates, and I think, as the city attorney had mentioned, in a couple of years, that's going to play itself out because that will be up. And in the meantime, I'm hoping that we can have a annexation agreement that allows them to be contiguous so that we can have them come into the city where they should have been in 2005 and should be now. So I agree with you that here we are today, and that's what we have. But come back at committee level and make any sort of motion regarding that, if that's okay. Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second on the floor then. And that is for ordinance 616H, second reading, an ordinance amending section 114-354B2 and Appendix A of the City of Belvedere Municipal Code to modify sewer rates. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor, well, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, same sign. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman. 8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And we have item A, ordinance 617H for first reading. That is an ordinance amending section 14-452 of the City of Belvedere Municipal Code regarding video gaming under annexation agreements, and that will be back to the council at a later date. We have item B, resolution number 2023-4. That resolution is establishing a Class 2 truck route that is at Irene Road, and that was before the committee. And could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Fleury, second by Alderman Porter. Is there any discussion regarding that motion on the floor? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, same sign. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And next we have item C, resolution number 2023-6, that being a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a local agency company agreement for the development of Project Kelly. And we've had that as well. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Snow, second by, thank you, Alderwoman Mulhall. The city attorney may want to comment on this, but essentially, these are some of the requirements that we as a local agency with the company agreement will satisfy IDOT, is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're correct. This resolution and the agreement that's attached to is actually an exhibit to the next resolution and the grant agreement with the state. This one allows the city to recover any monies that end up being owed to the state if the end user does not maintain the required jobs at the site. So the grant agreement with the state, which is the next resolution, allows the state to come back and try and recover some of the grant money if the jobs aren't in place. This agreement is between the city and the end user to allow us to recover that money from them if the state comes looking for their money. I will say that I'm not aware of DCE or the state ever seeking compensation for this, but it's a requirement of the grant award, so we do it.
Okay. Is there any, Alderman Snow?
So when it comes to trying to secure this money from somebody who doesn't employ all these people and to qualify for the grant, what makes them think that they're gonna get the money? Because the business wasn't going well in the first place, that they didn't hire everybody, or is there bond money out there for that?
In this case, it's General Mills. In this case, that end user is General Mills. They are the one guaranteeing the money. So and that's something you have to watch out for, because occasionally they'll set up a shell corporation, an LLC or something like that. But in this case, it's General Mills, so.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we have then a motion on the floor regarding Resolution 2023-6, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a local agency company agreement for the development of Project Kelly. If there are no other questions, all those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And moving on to item D, Resolution 2023-7, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement with IDOT for the grant funding reconfiguration of Irene Road. As the city attorney had mentioned, this is the follow-up regarding that. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderwoman Prather. Is there any discussion, follow-up on that? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Porter.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item E, Resolution 2023-8, that resolution authorizing certain annual parades for 2023 in the city of Belvedere. I have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderwoman Prather. Any discussion regarding that? The list, the lineup is on Exhibit A on the back. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of Resolution 2023-8 will answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Prather.
Aye.
Snow.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item F, Resolution 2023-9, that being a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute and the clerk to attest an agreement with Metro Paramedic Services, Inc. for EMS response and transport services. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Stevens, second by Alderwoman Prather. Any discussion, any comments? City Attorney wants to chat, and I'm sure Chief Shadle would like to weigh in as well. City Attorney?
Just real briefly, we did make one modification to the agreement that's in your packets, and it's already included in the resolution that's been placed on file with the clerk. But the modification is relating to, on page 10, subparagraph 6G. And there was an error in the agreement that we all put together. It had effectively Metro paying for the gasoline to power the ambulances. And we had negotiated actually to utilize the city's gas pumps, which are cheaper than having them fill them at the mobile station. So we're providing the gasoline, and that had resulted in lowering their bid previously. So this is actually just fixing what was inadvertently put in the packets initially. So the only change is the city will provide the fuel for the ambulances as opposed to Metro. And again, that's already been made in the resolution that's been filed with the clerk.
Thank you for that. Chief Shadle, did you have any comments you would like to make?
No, I don't have any additional comments, but I'd be happy to answer any questions related to
So
the
would I.
motion.
Yeah. All right, any questions regarding this contract for the chief, for myself, for the city attorney? You know, it is a costly, there's no doubt about it. It is costly. We did go to request for proposals, and I take my hats off to the council. I think this provides our citizens with the best option that we have since we have lost, or since we will lose Lifeline. Long history of them providing service very efficiently, affordably, and unfortunately, they decided they could not do that any longer. And so the contract, that contract that you see is before you this evening. Alderman Porter.
Thank you, Mayor. I just was wondering, we're still going to have a chance to decide what we're gonna charge and that type of thing. That comes later, right?
That's correct. That'll come back, hopefully possibly next week, if I can get the ordinance drafted in time.
Yeah. Chief Shadle.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly comment on that so you guys can think about what we're going to include in the ordinance. So the ordinance will include the billing rates, ALS, BLS, non-resident, resident. We put together, or we saw what everybody around us is doing, and we all came up with a general recommendation that we believe is in the best interest. The other thing to consider when you're billing is some communities bill for non-transports. Some communities bill for just, they'll bill the insurance and then whatever they cover, they'll not collect the rest. Some communities collect co-pays and co-insurance and what the insurance pays, and then send the remainder to collections. So those are all things we have generally come up with, I think, a good solution. Attorney Drella will put in ordinance form and bring it before you guys, but those are some things to think about over the time until we discuss it and come up with our recommendation. Our recommendation is going to be pretty straightforward and fair and something that is good for the community. Those are all things that we wanted to consider when we were looking at those, and so we'll bring that for you at the committee level, of course, and that's kind of the third step in the process. This is the first one tonight for the agreement for the ambulance contract, and then the next on the agenda is the billing, and then the third thing is the ordinances. We have May 1 it's going to start, so we've been working on a lot of things within the department to make sure on May 1 that we have ambulances responding and they have reporting software and we're able to have a billing system set up, and we will be able to do that. Everything is on track as much as it can be. So, but as far as the billing ordinance, those are the four main things you think about: the rates, and then how you bill after the insurance. If you just send out 3 bills, every community does it a little different. Some communities have ambulance taxes, like the fire districts are proposing, to where it covers that. So like in Harlem-Roscoe, if you're a resident, it's 0. But I don't want to belabor that point. We'll cover that when we get there, and be happy to answer any questions on that.
Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you. It's not about that, Chief Shadle, but I was wondering where these ambulances are going to be like stationed at here, and then I read number 7, the facilities. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. In the request for proposal, we didn't know exactly where they were going to be housed. Our stations are already over full, and we're always looking at ways to be more efficient, and so we can fit the equipment we have in there and the personnel that we have. Our stations are very full, so normally in this situation they could be right in the stations, and we said, well, that's not an option, so we got to find somewhere. Luckily, 2 weeks ago we had found a property that was located on the north side of town, and it's by the Cunis dealership, which provides access through the center of town on State Street, and then the north of town on 20, and then the south through Appleton. So it's right there. So we found out that the location we were looking at was owned by Cunis, and I approached them and I said, is this possible? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay. So as you pointed out, it's in the agreement that they provide the facilities, so they are actually executing a lease agreement, and it happens to be the property across from the Cunis dealership. There's an old District 2 station, and then there's a house and a garage. And interesting enough that when St. Joe's Hospital closed in 1999, Lifeline had to move their quarters, and the District 2 station wasn't built yet, and District 2 was right there at that location in that building, and that's what they had chose. And so I actually talked to some of the paramedics that ran out of there, and they said, oh, it was great. They, being located right there, they could get anywhere in town really easily. So I knew that was going to be a great location if we could secure it. Metro and CUNIS have been working together. It looks like they're going to have a good partnership where CUNIS is happy to be involved in the community some way, shape, or form, but they have agreed to do a lease with Metro and CUNIS have agreed to do a lease, and so the ambulance will be housed on the north side of town right there.
And I will say, I do want to thank Tony McIntyre from Kunis and Greg Kunis as well, because they recognize they're a big part of the community, and they also have a piece of property that was actually perfect for the city of Belvedere to be able to have Metro provide services. So they are working out a contract and very generous on their part. So, any other questions? All right, then we have before us a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute and the clerk to attest an agreement with Metro Paramedic Services, Inc. for EMS response and transport services. All those in favor of that motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls a roll, please.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman, McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item 10G, resolution number 2023-10, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a billing service agreement between the City of Belvedere and EMS Management and Consultants, Inc. Could I get a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Stevens, second by Alderman Prather. Any other discussion, any comments, any questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman, McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And motions forwarded from Committee of the Whole, Public Safety, Finance, and Personnel of February 27th, 2023. Motions out of Public Works, Chairwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. A, motion to approve the proposal from Baxter and Woodman in an amount not to exceed $170,700 for construction engineering for the primary clarifiers rehabilitation project. This work will be paid for from ARPA funds and sewer depreciation funds.
Okay, we have the motion out of committee. Is there any other discussion? Any questions? Any comments? All right, hearing none. All those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman. Aye. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed. Thank you. Item B.
B, motion to approve the low bid from B&K Concrete in the amount of $19,150 for pouring the chlorine room floor and containment walls. The cost of this work will be split between the Water Depreciation Fund and Sewer Depreciation Fund.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. Is there any questions, comments, concerns regarding that motion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor then, will, when their name is called, answer aye. Those opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Freeman. Aye. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item C.
C, motion to approve change order number 4 from N-Track Group in the amount of $35,398.54 for the Logan Avenue Rehabilitation Project. This work will be paid for from line item number 10-5-310-8021.
Okay, thank you. Motion out of committee. Is there any comments, questions, or concerns regarding that motion? Alderman Stevens.
I was just gonna ask Brent what this covers.
There's 3 components to it. There was additional traffic control for the ComEd portion of for why they were up in the right-of-way, relocating the utility poles required by our improvements. We went ahead, it was the cheapest option to get that work done was to extend the contract of N-Track for providing the barricades during the ComEd portion. So there's $4,200 for that. We also, the contract included painted pavement markings. We usually utilize thermoplastic pavement markings. So we got a revised price for the thermoplastic, which is a net addition to the contract of $7,963.54. The thermoplastic itself is a cost of $16,198.54. We usually get about a 5-4 or 5-to-1 ratio on longevity for thermoplastic versus paint. So it's more cost efficient to go that route, and it's better visibility, nighttime visibility as well. Retro reflectivity is better. And then finally, there was an addition of a Petromat, a fiber mat underlayment that was put down in the Caswell Street intersection to hopefully prohibit the reflective cracking through, just because the amount of work, extra work and work that was done in that intersection, in particular with a lot of water making. We had some sewer work to do in that intersection. It was a lot more excavation than the rest of the project. So it was felt that the addition of the Petromat would be a cheaper alternative in the long run for the longevity of the pavement on the surface.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anderson. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, then we have a motion on the floor to approve change order number 4 from N-Track Group in the amount of $35,398.54 for the Logan Avenue Rehabilitation Project. And the work will be paid for from line item 10-5-310-8021. All those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
McGee,
Aye.
Smallhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman. 8 in favor.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to motions out of public safety. Chairman Stevens.
D, motion to approve the block party request for Ida Public Library at 320 North State Street from June 10th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. Any questions regarding that motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Smallhall,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Snow,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Freeman. McGee,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, and I think Ms. Hanson wanted to make a comment to the council. Ms. Hanson?
Thank you, Mayor. One item on next week's committee agenda will be further budget discussion. So if there's any information you want between now and then, just let me know in advance so we can get them in your packets you pick up on Friday.
Alderman Snow?
When we're gonna get the books back?
If you want the books, I can certainly have them available. I think the only things that have really changed, because I know I gave you sheets tonight from changes from the general fund last week. The only other changes, I think, were some things, I think I had mentioned the fire department budget had changed because we needed to add the expense of the ambulance services in the billing and things like that. I can have them to you if you want to pick them up Friday. Otherwise, since those were the only changes, I can wait and give you final packets after next week's committee meeting, and you'd have them before first reading. So that is completely up to you.
How do you want to proceed? Beforehand? You want to do it the democratic way? All those in favor of beforehand? Put your hand up. Ms. Hanson's going to have them, you'll have them Friday? Is that right?
Correct.
Friday, or the alternative being,
Otherwise, it would be before first reading, which would be the 20th. It depends on your discussions on the 13th.
okay, if you want them early, everybody? Okay. If there are any changes, you can add them after that. Okay, thank you. And we don't have any other further business. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Motion by Alderman Fleury, second by Alderwoman Prather. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, for the record, we adjourned at 7:57 PM. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.